So the key thing to remember about me and about everybody in your life that you know, I am a hypocrite in some ways. What is up, guys? Welcome to the fourth and final episode of the How to Gym series. I can't believe that the series is coming to an end already, but here we are. We're going to be focusing on core and cardio in this video. And you might be wondering, what is a guy who doesn't have his shirt off and is super ripped talking about abs for? You know, usually you look at guys like Jeff Cavalier from Athlete X, or you look at guys, C-Bum, name your top favorite bodybuilder or fitness YouTuber. That's the kind of guy, or your favorite, fitness woman. That's the kind of woman that you should be looking at to get core advice from, and you would not be wrong at all. So if you choose to not listen to whatever I have to say in this video, I won't take it personally at all. But there are a lot of things that I've learned about workouts and about just exercise and health and fitness in general. And I think I have enough knowledge to know how to share some good ab exercises with you guys, despite myself not being the best example. I am a work in progress. Keep that in mind. That's the whole purpose behind this channel, and I hope that you guys can find some value from this video. And if you do, be sure to drop a like, because I've worked really hard on this series to try and just put together a decent set of videos to showcase what my current exercise routine is looking like, a push-pull-leg split. And then this is kind of just a miscellaneous abs and cardio video, because I do sprinkle in abs and cardio throughout the week. It doesn't have its own specific day like the other days do, but I wanted to make a separate video for it because it is sort of a supplemental thing that you can put into any of your push-pull legs days. All right, so the first two exercises for abs and core that I'm going to walk you through are two exercises that I like to do usually at home. I usually don't do them here in the gym, just because at home I have a bit more privacy. And for whatever reason, abs and core just seems to be one of those things that's a bit more intimate that I like to work out at home in privacy of my own home. I don't know why, because I'm comfortable training every other body part here, but typically I'll do them at home if I have a choice, because all you need is a yoga mat or a thicker foam mat like this one. Anything will do the trick, and you can even just use the bare floor if you really have to. And these are great because you don't need any specialized equipment. Literally all you need is your body weight, and you can add in like a medicine ball or like a dumbbell if you really want to. All right, so the theme with this series is simplicity, and I'm showing you guys exercises that you can do with simple explanation, nothing too complicated, nothing too advanced. This is very beginner to intermediate friendly type of workouts, and nothing's gonna change with this abs video because I'm gonna walk you through some very simple exercises like the stiff leg raises. So what I'm gonna do is start with my legs hovering off of the ground. And I like to keep my hands under my backside or under my butt. You can also keep them out like this if you want to, but for whatever reason, it just helps my lower back feel better when I have them under my butt. So what I'm gonna do is start with my legs hovering just a couple inches above the ground, and I'm gonna keep them relatively straight. They don't have to be full lockout, but they have to be relatively straight. And I'm gonna bring my legs all the way up to my chest as far as I can bring them without bending my legs. So I don't wanna bend my legs like this. I wanna keep them still relatively straight, and my butt has to come a bit off of the mat like that. So if my butt's on my hands now or on the mat, I do wanna come off of that just to get a fuller and more sort of intense contraction in the abs and core muscles. And this exercise is gonna focus more on those lower abdomen muscles, especially as you're coming on the way down like this. You wanna go nice and slow, and right when your legs are just hovering off the ground, you will feel a lot of strain in the lower abs. So we're gonna come up with our butt off of our hands, off the mat, and we're gonna slowly let our legs drop back down. And if you find it too difficult to actually lift your backside or your butt off of the mat or off of your hands, then you don't have to do that. You can just stop Once you get to the point where you feel comfortable, and slowly release your legs down again. But I would recommend going that extra mile if you can, because it will go a long way. So typically I'll do 4 sets of that exercise, and I'll do a short rest time in between each set. So maybe like 30 to 45 seconds of rest, which is like nothing, especially when you are winded and out of breath. But again, abs are one of those muscles similar to calves where they're very resilient because you are using your core in a lot of movements throughout the day. So in order to break down those muscle fibers, we need to make sure that we're keeping the rest times a bit shorter and keeping the volume and intensity fairly high. And for rep range, you really have to feel that out, depending on how in shape you are or how trained your abs are or not. If your abs are really developed and you're really in shape, then you can do, maybe 30, 40 reps of that. But if you're not, if you're just starting out, then you might only be able to do 10 reps, which is just fine. Just find that range to where you're struggling and you're going close to failure, and just go up to that point and a little bit beyond if you can. The second exercise I want to walk you through is not really something that I know the name of, because it's something that I just kind of started doing naturally, but it is a variation of a crunch, and I'll show it to you right now. It's very simple, very easy to do if you're doing it for the first time. Now, again, I don't know the proper name for this. I call it a scissor crunch just because, you'll see why. So with this exercise, my starting position is going to be my legs in about a 45-degree bend like this, hovering off of the ground. And my arms are gonna be behind my head like this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to bring them both up at the same time. And I'm gonna come back down, and I'm gonna bring my legs all the way down back to the starting point. And just keeping my legs here, my core is shaking because it is very intense on the core. I don't know how to explain it, but it just does a really good job at engaging the core in general, the ab muscles. And yeah, this one is particularly bad if you are not used to doing core. And I mean bad in a good way. It activates, it stimulates the core perfectly as it should. And as we crunch, we are contracting the core. And if you can, you want to touch your elbows to your knees. Now, there is a tendency with this workout to keep your legs up and just do this. But that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring our legs all the way back to the starting position in like a 45-degree angle. So you come to a touching point here, and then you straighten out the legs. And guys, to be perfectly honest with you, that is all I do for abs. So I do 4 sets of these stiff leg raises, and then I do 4 sets of these, what I call scissor crunches. Don't know if that's the official name, just kind of making it up. But that is all I do for abs. I will do 4 sets of each, and I will keep the rest time short. Like I said, about 30 to 45 seconds of rest time in between each set, and about 15 to 25 reps, depending on, just how I'm feeling really that day. I haven't been super consistent with abs as much as I should be, so this is an accountability video for me to get back on it. And when I am doing it consistently twice a week, I've noticed that I can do about 25 reps. But if I have been neglecting it, like I have been recently, then I will be able to do only about 15 to 20 reps. So very interesting how quickly you can lose the strength in your core if you don't work it out. And that is why you should use this video as a reminder to stay on top of it. So the key thing to remember about me and about everybody in your life that you know, I am a hypocrite in some ways. Now, just in case you guys were looking for a bonus exercise that does involve a machine of some kind or contraption, I'm gonna show you these hanging leg raises as well, just in case you do wanna get something in your ab and core regiment that does include something with a contraption like this, just in case the body weight stuff is not enough and maybe you are a bit more advanced and want to incorporate something like this. These are the hanging leg raises. And what you're gonna do is just start from a hanging position like so, full stretch, and you're gonna bring your legs up And I honestly can't do it while I'm talking. But yeah, that's essentially all you're doing, is you're just letting your body hang at a full stretch, and you're bringing your legs up as high as you can and doing a full contraction of the ab muscles, and then slowly letting your legs go back down. I'm really bad at them because, again, I'm still developing my core and my abs, you know, going from someone that's never ever trained them in their life to, you know, just 6 or 7 months ago starting to train them for the first time. That's still very difficult for me. So I'm still kind of in the free weight, body weight stage of my ab construction journey. But if you are more advanced, definitely try incorporating those, because they are very savage, not to be taken lightly. All right, so cardio, the moment you guys have all been waiting for. So here are my favorite forms of cardio. This gym only happens to have a couple of different cardio machines, that being the rower, the Stairmaster, and a couple of treadmills. My personal favorite is the rowing machine. My second favorite is the treadmill doing an incline walk. And then my third favorite and my nemesis is the Stairmaster, as a lot of you can probably relate if you've used the Stairmaster before. Now, I know cardio can be a mixed bag for some of you guys, especially those that are looking to put on as much muscle as possible, especially if you're kind of skinny, like a hard gainer, you're having a hard time gaining muscle or weight in general. You might think that cardio is the devil, and you wouldn't be far off, but I would sprinkle in cardio here and there just to make sure that you are, you know, really working your cardiovascular system, you're keeping your heart healthy, and you're making sure that, you know, in case you need to run away from a guy chasing you with a knife, you can actually do that. But in all seriousness, cardio is really good for your heart. It's really good for your health. And I just believe it's something that everyone should be able to do, is, you know, go on a solid hike or go on a light walk, you know, and not be super tired out and not be able to carry a conversation while you're doing that. That's just my personal opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. But for those of you that are more like me and always struggle to lose weight, lose fat, and just stay in overall decent shape, cardio is one of those things that we literally always feel like is the answer. We need to be doing more cardio. We need to be doing more running. And that's the reason we're not losing weight, because we don't like that. And yeah, that's the missing piece. And if we could just learn to love cardio, we would have no problem shedding off the weight. And this is not always the case. You know, this is just my personal experience. I lost 65 pounds last year from February to December. It took as much time as I needed to make that happen. And I feel I did it in a very healthy way. And I didn't do it by spending hours and hours and hours on these cardio machines here. I did it by weightlifting 4 to 5 days a week. And I did 4 cardio sessions a week. And I would do them at the end of my workout sessions. So typically for me, that was only about between 10 to 15 minutes of cardio at the end of my weightlifting sessions. Again, 4 days a week. And I went by calories burned. I didn't actually go by specific time. So I have an Apple Watch that I use as my fitness tracker. If you don't have an Apple Watch or a fitness tracker, you can use the calories burned on the machines that you're using. Just make sure that it's the same machine every time if you can help it. I'm not saying you have to do treadmill every time you do cardio, but if you do the treadmill machine that day, make sure it's the same brand and style of machine. That way the calorie counter is a bit more consistent. And so I actually went for calories burned. I would go for 100 calories burned, which, like I said, was for me between 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the speed and intensity of the cardio I was doing. And I never tried to let my heart rate go above 150 if I could help it, because that is kind of the steady state zone 2 cardio range. And according to some research that I did, that just seems to be the best range for your body to not actually go after your muscle and atrophy your muscle, you know, in that process of needing fuel and energy in order to sustain the cardio session. You know, if your heart rate is at like 180 or even higher, God forbid, you know, from a muscle standpoint, you can be compromising some muscle loss there. So I like to stay under 150 for my cardio session. There's no reason, in my opinion, if you're focusing on building muscle and recompositioning your body to be more aesthetic, you know, or just more muscle bound and just healthier, you know, there's no reason why you should be going above 150 unless you are training for some intense cardiovascular event that you're doing or something like that. Or you just want to challenge yourself in that way, which is totally fine. But just make sure that your priorities are in order. If you're trying to get more muscle bound and you're trying to be more muscular, I would stay away from doing any cardio above 150 BPM, beats per minute. That's just my opinion. And that is just what worked for me to be able to lose 65 pounds last year and go from fat to somewhat fit. Not where I want to be yet, but as you can see, I am working on it. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. I really appreciate that, and I really mean that when I say it. You guys, watching and supporting these videos really just means a lot, and I'm very happy to be able to make the content. Very happy to share with you guys what I've learned in the past year throughout my weight loss journey, throughout my fitness journey so far. And yeah, really looking forward to putting out some more awesome content for you guys. Be sure to like this video. It really does help the channel grow. And be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Thank you guys once again, and look forward to next week's video, because I am going to be trying to put out a video weekly this year. That is one of my kind of New Year's resolutions, that I really want to be able to do weekly videos. So be sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much, and till next time.